Hey, everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin coming at you from Maryland's beautiful 8th District to Maryland's beautiful 8th District and to all of our friends across Maryland and across the country for my favorite time in the week, Local Hero, when we get to recognize the people who make the 8th Congressional District such a magical place to be. I've got a wonderful local hero for you today. My friend Randi Drewry, who is a native of Montgomery County. She lives in Silver Spring, and she is the outreach coordinator for the Clifton Park Baptist Church and is working to root in nutrition systems and food systems to feed our people. And we got to tour with my friend, Congressman Jim McGovern, the whole aeroponics, rather, and she'll explain the difference. The aeroponics vegetation lab that she has set up with the church in Tacoma Park, but she's helping to feed our people and to build real food sustainability in our community. And for that reason, among several others, Randi, you are our local hero this week of Christmas 2021. So congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. It's very much an honor. I'm grateful that you were able to come and visit us and see what we're up to. And again, thank you. I'm very, very honored. And I want you to know that I'm with my team in the background. As you see their picture, I know that they have been cheerleaders and my support system through all of this, my partners. So I wanted to keep them with me during this conversation.
Well, it's the coolest thing in the world. Start by telling us about your connection to the Clifton Park Baptist Church and then how this church quite unusually made a commitment to growing food and to real food sustainability.
Yeah, I started at Clifton Park Baptist Church just as a member, I guess, in 2013. And right away, I just was drawn to outreach. And then in 2016, I became the outreach coordinator. We started off, kind of our kickoff was partnering with a lot of local groups to collect a lot of water bottles for Flint when they're still having their crisis. But that was kind of the kickoff in my outreach career. So the kind of how we are where we are, we've definitely evolved, especially during this pandemic. Clifton Park has always served groceries every month to the community in need. We've offered other services and resources with connections to our local organizations. But once the pandemic hit, we actually lost our food distributions. And for us to be a church, we should be a place that people can turn to in a crisis. So that's where we started figuring out ways that we could become sustainable. And that's how we got into aeroponics.
So did you know about aeroponics before? Had you been a student of it?
I have not. I've always been a grower. I fell in love with just plants and agriculture in my horticulture class in high school. I still actually have plants from my Gaithersburg High School years, but I'm very dedicated to my plants. Everyone knows, don't touch my plants. My kids, oh no, a leaf fell. I'm gonna get in trouble. Yes, you're gonna get in trouble. So I'm very dedicated. But once our church doesn't have a lot of green space. We're urban setting. It's a dense area. So we try to find ways that we can grow indoors and grow vertically. So aeroponics is the art of growing vertically. So we use aeroponic towers. And these towers have 28 plants. They're much better for our environment in a lot of different ways. They only use about 1 gallon of water for the 28 plants per day. You don't have to use pesticides. They're very fresh. So our goal is to everything that we grow, it is given to our food distributions on a weekly basis so that our community has the option to have some fresh greens.
So they're like these tubes of water that travel upward and the water shoots up like a little fountain and then comes around on the top. And as you say, you don't have to worry about any kinds of bugs or infestation at all because it's indoors, right? So then
you still have to worry a little bit, but but there's remedies and it's has its different different positives and negatives than your traditional agriculture.
So tell us about some of the the bounty and harvest that you've produced?
So we started in July, and the first harvest that we did, we were able to get about 125 bags of greens, and that's from 24 towers. We're actually building a greenhouse at our church right now. We're going through the permitting process to add another 24 towers. So we're growing kale, we've done spinach, arugula, collards, basil, cilantro, rainbow chard. So, we know that during our food distributions, we get asked for the greens. It's not something we usually get from our normal distributors. So it's definitely a bonus for people if they're able to first come, first serve of those few bags.
So your partners in this have been Washington Adventist University, right? Or the hospital, but then now university. Explain how that all works.
So right now the hospital is not using all of their space since they have been relocated to the White Oak. So they had some extra space, and the city of Tacoma Park and Lorig had helped to.
That's Lorig Charcutian.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Helped to find space for some of the local organizations. So we were extremely grateful to be able to use that space to be able to house these towers. Meanwhile, again, we'll continue to see where the other opportunities are. I think the beauty of it can be anywhere, and it's in some patient rooms in that office building too. So it's very versatile and can just literally be put anywhere. And that's also why we're starting a program to actually put some of these towers inside of homes, so that people can have their own slice of sustainability within their homes if they are experiencing food insecurities, and then we'll teach them how to use them as well.
And it's beautiful too to see the greens and the collards and the lettuce just growing up there. Well, look, do you say a word, if you would, about the future and the other kind of projects you're involved in, because you are a master of lots of different kinds of outreach to the ground and the earth and to people too.
Yeah, my passions are people and planet, and this kind of focusing on aeroponics, I think for me is the future. I think, one of the biggest questions right now being asked in the food systems world is how are we going to feed 10 billion people in 2050? And traditional agriculture uses 70% of our water. And some of the food that we have, has been sitting on trucks for hundreds and thousands of miles even to get to us. It's losing its nutrition density. We have for instance, right now our church is serving between 1,400 and 1,700 households every week. So, if that many people are in need of food, most likely, it's cheaper to go to a fast food restaurant than it is to eat something nutritious. So my hope is that we can scale this. Like we can have our own, Montgomery County, local Maryland, indoor controlled environment agriculture space that we can sustain instead of keep putting the money out to, different programs, emergency programs and stuff that will, help feed people for X amount of time. But if we can sustain ourselves, to me, that is the future and that's the vision, because, people are always going to need food until we change like the real big, picture of our food systems. But until then, my hope is to be able to get a large scale location that can help our local food providers provide fresh, clean, nutritious food, nutrient dense to the community in need.
Well, Randi, you are a true visionary, and you're an activist and an organizer, and you're a teacher, and you are our local hero. So thank you for everything that you do. Keep it up and send love to all of our friends at Clifton Park Baptist Church, okay?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.